Welcome everybody to your Millions South America main event day 2 coverage here at the Copacabana Palace Hotel in Rio. We have 172 remaining for the 439, who entered this event, and we are straight into action on our feature table. This is how things stand. You see Alex Colonias with a huge chip lead on this table, 7.2 million. In fact, Diane with ace-king on the button. Well, this is a hand she's going to have to play and be delighted to do so against an under-the-gun jam. The Brazilian Team Pro does, of course, move all in over the top of Roberto, knocking everyone else out. And
because you guys have the logo, so it's really not nice if you eliminate each other.
well, here's Team Pro on Team Pro. Jack in the window, followed by 7-4. What's going to happen here? She drops down to 835. Roberto back above that 1 million starting stack. King, Queen, 2 hearts. Huge flop for Roberto. Top pair and the flush draw. He's going to check it to Stephen, who has flopped second pair. Check back. 6 on the turn. Roberto checking once again. I'd like to see him bet there. I think Stephen's going to c-bet that board with a lot of bluffs. Yeah. Roberto is going to bet big here. I like this going for just under pot, 225. Again, nice bet size, so Stephen has a lot of showdown when he checks back twice. So you want to target that with your bluffs and value hands. And Roberto does understandably get paid off by Stephen. Well, there is that table I was talking about outside on the main floor. Isolde sat between Rick Trigg and Ryan Reese. So Isolde late on the day yesterday. As I said, Jack Sinclair with a lot of chips in front of him. Urbanovic, he's sitting a bit more comfortably, just to the left. There is the current main event champion, John Sin. There's a man who's always smiling. Anatoly Filatov. And the man who made the loudest entrance, Phil Helmuth. And he's sharing a table with our man Gaston. Action man. We come back to find our new man Marcel all in against Alex, needing to find a jack on the end. His stay at the feature table very short-lived. Michael finds ace-queen in the big. He's going to move all in. Roberto won't like it. At least he's going to be flipping. Ace-queen 10. And Michael will double up here. Roberto down to 500,000 in chips. Diane, Queen, Jack of Diamonds in the big blind. That's an easy peel. Nine, 4, 5, all clubs. Alex with the Jack of clubs. Diane checks. Starting to check back. Diane with obviously a stack that's going to check jam a lot of hands. Doesn't want to get blasted off with his club. And well, Jin, as they both turn a pair. Diane in trouble here, checks it. He will bet this time, that's for sure. 100,000. She does cool with that top pair. Well, ace on the end. It's going to save her doing some chips here, you'd feel. does go small, just under a quarter, 100k. This does not feel good in her shoes. This is one of the strongest hands she can have here, though, with the jack. I think it has to make a call. She does. Gets the bad news. She's going to need to get lucky. She's been unlucky thus far. Now finds an ace on the flop, reducing Michael to just one out. Does not find that one out. Diane still short of a starting stack. Michael back down to 11 big blinds. Alex opening +1 ace queen. Minimum raise. Diane with ace 8 in the big blind again. Should just be a call here. She does make it this time. 6-3 or hot or top pair and nut flush draw. Alex with just ace queen high. No heart in his hand. Decides just to check this one back with showdown value. I might have lent towards a bet there. Open from +1. Going quite big, 155 into 275. Diane with an easy call. Raise really wouldn't achieve anything here. Call the only play that makes sense. Well, she does move all in. And he will quickly fold a hand that was almost drawing dead. Just 2 outs. Does it let it go? Roberto looks down at kings in the big blind. And he flicks in the call. I like this off this stack size. Allow Gerardo to keep playing. And 10-8, deuce, 2 spades. Well, Gerardo's going to love that flop. Little does he know what trouble he's in. Roberto checks. Gerardo bets half pot. He can rep a lot of draws by jamming. Then a call and a scare card come off. He does check jam. And Gerardo just has to call this one. I say there's so many draws Roberto could have. Gerardo in need of a jack 10 or running straight cards. 5 on the river. Roberto double ups up again. Now up to 2 million in chips.
Raise.
110 the bet. Stephen in the big, jack 8 of hearts. He'll flick in the call. Jack 8-3, action board. Stephen top 2, Gerardo to whoever's a nut flush draw. He's going to check it back with what he perceives to be the board pretty locked down. Now turns an ace to go with his nut flush draw. Interesting, Stephen would have bet every turn, I think, bar a club. And this one is a little on the closer side. He does now check it. And go for a check raise, I'm sure. Allow Gerardo to, in his mind, blast off. King on the river. Expect this to go check bet call once more. And wow, Gerardo's going to overbet the river. Very quickly overbetting the river as well. This is a pretty horrible spot for Stephen. Stephen concerned here that he's running into aces up, I'm sure. Yeah, and I can't fault him for folding there. Oh, very interesting bet size from Gerardo.
You will know.
That's what he does, but a little too small for my liking. 325, only 200,000 more. Not many hands she's going to open with that she's now going to fold. She does make the call with those 2 9s. 770 in the pot. So we've got about 2x pot effective behind, and Roberto sees the king deuce 4 flop give him gut shot, straight draw, as well as backdoor nut flush draw, and it's a pretty good board for him to see bet with out of the small.
275.
275 the bet. Diane with a clear call, holding 2 nines. This is the board Roberto's going to attack a lot. And she does now make the call. We're now playing with pot bet back on the turn. And what a turn it is for Roberto. Can't have found a better card. The 5 of clubs gives him not just the wheel, but the nut flush draw. Her king X and pocket pairs, as well as spade draws, might have to hang around, so bets again, 350, setting up for a jam. She is just going to let it go. Little does she know how unlucky she got there. Richard moves in his short stack with king, queen of diamonds. Michael folds. Stephen will call. And nearly a flip here. He has just 14% equity. There it is, king on the end. Yet again, a double up on this feature table. Stacks stay shallow. Roberto defends from the big, dominated Jack-9 of clubs. 6-5-5, 2 clubs for Roberto. He checks. Vitor with the ace of clubs. And having opened under the gun, expect him to bet this board. $75K to bet. Roberto. An easy call here, of course, with the flush draw 2 overcards. Well, he's just starting to move all in. And that will get Vitor off the pot.
I'm not sure I'm going to be around.
Today's time.
Diane, another one. She has deuces in the cutoff. This should be a fold. Stephen, 10 bigs, pocket 4s. He's just going to rip it in.
620.
Roberto rejamming behind with ace king.
Oh, yeah.
And that will allow Michael to get away from this one. Stephen is going to love life when he sees what he's up against.
One pair.
Pair is good so far.
Mine is 4 ball.
Ace in the window.
10-10. One time.
Finally, we have an elimination at our feature table. The short stacks have been running good, but not this time. Stephen will make his way to the rail. And I would assume to the 10K high roller tournament that is going off. Wow, Vitor raising from the cutoff with ace-king. Gerardo just flatting ace-queen from the big. Expect Vitor to check this back. A horrible-looking board for his hand. Against the big blind peel. Expect Vitor to check back. He does. 7 on the end. Board getting worse and worse for both hands. He doesn't really need to. That's the best hand so often here. He does bet, well, tiny, 60 into 330. Wow, this is just bizarre. Vitor now raising the river. I mean, he's just repping a 9 and 9 only here, and it's going to work at this instance. Gerardo has ace high, but there just aren't many 9x hands he can really have, having checked back twice I don't believe. Well, he's going to let it down. V2 bluffing with the best of it. Just a question when it comes down to Marcel, what to do, given these two are over 100 bigs effective. I'd say Marcel should be playing his range, like we saw the pot earlier, as flats. Flats with ace-king. He gets jammed on, he can fold. Alex can be trapping when he flats here, Pri. He's never going to be bluffing. So hopefully Marcel makes the flat hit. Well, he's just folded. That's... yeah, he shouldn't be folding. Michael peeling with 10-7 off again from the big, going three-way. King 7-4, 2 diamonds. Alex flopping the flush draw. Roberto and Michael both pairing that 7. Pair. Backdoor flush draw. So that's cool. Michael can't proceed now, surely, against the bet and a call, even though he's ahead of Roberto. Does decide to check. Which I like. Roberto's going to check back a lot, so Alex does get to the river. High percentage. Roberto with a clear check here, holding that 7. King of diamonds on the end. Gin for Alex, picking up that flush. And a good chance, but his opponent has now made trips. He does reach for a large bet, 800,000 again. Roberto has a fairly strong range here. Or hands that basically never call. It's the bet size. Roberto pieces this together though. Alex just shouldn't really be bluffing here. Doesn't have too many natural bluffs. Hands that c-bet this board three-way with a big blind defend. Check the turn, I want to bet this river, so well, the best ones would be something like 6-8 of hearts, and Roberto has the 8 of hearts in his hand. Nine, 3 deuce, all spades. Michael flops a flush. Alex with top pair. I think he'd a bet very small, check back. He's gone very small, 80k. Jack on the turn. Alex checks. So he made up against a flop flush. Jack, not a great card, but not willing to give up the flop top pair just yet. Well, cool to see. 10 of spades roll off on the river. Well, now he's not really being anything. But then the complete air balls. $225 the bet. And as I said, I think Alex just has to let this go. He's going to have enough flushes when he gets to this river. He doesn't need to start calling with what is now ultimately third pair. Oh, he's reaching for chips. He's just trying to get a read perhaps. Well, he's made a call and I just don't understand this one. Exceptionally optimistic call. There you go. This is your next feature table. There is Eric. You saw him in the 1K.
Here we go. Yeah.
Jerry in the mix, but with a short stack. Simon Debon shaking his head whilst in the middle of a pot. Dinner break out the way. We are deep on day 2. 96 remain from the 439 who started here. Dinner. This is how the chips look here. Tiago, who was on our table in the 1K. He is your chip leader with 5.5 million chips. Hot on his heels, the man who came second in that same tournament, Sam Grafton. 51 bigs. Alex Wuntenstuhl just behind on 47 bigs. And you see the rest of these guys here. Yuri and Simon on just under 40 bigs. Just the 2 short stacks. Eric and Jerry. Eric on the cutoff. 10.5 bigs. Ace Jack.
No mics.
Never loving it, but you've got to go with it.
I'm Patrick Leonard.
Ah, he does let it go.
Like, can we get one? Or like,
No,
I want people to hear what I have to say.
I don't like it when it's all, get it out.
Nicanor asking in the chat, is Ludo still in? Ludo is not in. He busts earlier today. A couple of pretty sickening hands by the sounds of it. Just being with him in the dinner break.
I mean,
He's preparing himself for the party.
It's only my 3rd day in a row on here, like, but I guess this means Mike Sexton got eliminated, so it's kind of sad day for all of us.
And someone asking who is Yuri online. I gather he is the nerd guy online. As both he and Simon flop open the straight draws on Jack 10 deuce. Yuri does c-bet. 235. Simon does check call. Yuri picks up extra equity, turning a spade draw. Seems like a pretty good one to barrel.
Who's critiquing us?
Oh, Dempsey, for sure. Like, Dempsey for like Brazilian minimum wage, basically. It's kind of brutal to see how far he's fallen.
450 from Yuri as Sam gets another dig in.
I don't know whether they got someone in. Sometimes he has a wingman.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes they have someone that knows something about poker alongside him, but sometimes he just does it like me.
Cool.
Patrick flicks it in. So we go 3-way between the 3 Englishmen here in Rio. And what a flop it is. Queen, deuce, 5, 2 hearts. Alex with the nut flush draw. Patrick with top pair. Sam with second pair. Sam does decide to check it back. Thought about betting that one 3-way. Not a lot of good turn cards for his hand. Well, that's one of them. That is a good turn card for his hand. Can, of course, make Sam fold some better ace highs. He does bet 375. Patrick obviously slightly concerned. Alex peeled from the small, remember, so there are draws out there. What a dreamy situation for him. And he throws in the call as well. Happy to let these guys see the river as he has position. 10 on the end. 1.8 in the pot. Maybe thinking about turning this into a bluff or going really small for value. But he has a lot of missed draws himself. Sam raises to 2 million. His hand complicated, pardon me, somewhat by Alex leading out on the turn.
Have a good one, but
Patrick does let it go.
You guys want to see? Sure.
Like, instead of having to go to your phone, if you want to know in like 25 minutes, just say, Like, I might ask you what you had like in 25 minutes to say, so we're
Sounds fine.
fucking ruffling around your pockets. I know you love a hero fold though, Paz. That's the fucking problem with you. You love a hero fold.
What's the hero fold there though? Not folding the fives. So.
You get the queen. You get the queen. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it looked like it's believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like, that's why I checked it back.
And Tiago does flick it in from the big blind.
So if I bet flop, I'd probably get like...
Ace, 10, deuce. He does check. That's again flop. But Simon is going to want to attack, having raised in the early position. He does bet 220.
No, it's like your secret weakness.
Tiago calls. Tiago came 8th in the Rio
In
Open.
all the obvious spots you call, where everyone else would fold, you call.
Sam
When
got
it's like
second.
third fold, you're like the first one in there.
He's looking good in this spot. His turn is a 3. Does give Simon a gut shot draw. Checks back. Try and make a hand on the end. And that's exactly what he does. Pings his set on the river. And this is going to be a juicy spot for him, as he should never really have a 4. And Tiago cutting out a bet here, 360. And this is lovely for Simon. Simon has a lot of missed draws. 360 into 900.
Yeah, yeah. See everyone.
Simon putting together a bet with those blue 100k chips. He makes it 1,225,000. Tiago wants to throw up.
Different version, and no one plays GTO, and you'd find it really frustrating. Like,
There we go. He does
He looks like that.
find the fold. Simon running good so far at this feature table.
They
I
play,
wanted to say
but they
we
play
didn't
like a
hand
different
over
version where when
to
someone busts out, you know what they are.
I can't believe you guys don't reveal. I can't believe you guys don't reveal.
I'm on the other side where I don't study anything over like 40 big blinds.
I was going to ask you, is this a spot for a squeeze perhaps? And he's counting out some chips.
I don't like it. It's a candidate, but I think it's too loose.
And he flicks in the call.
I hate peeling A6.
And with the royal flush draw.
Simon's just going to barrel Sam off this hand. In Sam's spot, you call the flop and you call the turn a decent amount, but folds sometimes, I think.
720 out there. He bets small 200.
Keeping it, staying in control down the streets.
Here's the call. Alex will escape.
Like the only aspect of poker I'd say I'd be better at Simon at would be like under 15 big blinds. Simon's so good. But, you know...
He's checked back.
Okay.
Happy to take it to the river. Well, he knew a diamond was coming, you see, Tom.
Just wants to realise his equity, not potentially get check raised off. Generally, I don't bet king queen or king jack on the flop. He's blocked.
Right,
10%.
and this is just like the pot against Tiago a moment ago. Simon's going to get to raise the river against the block bet.
800.
800 is the bet.
Good job. I think
Right,
he'll
what are
fold.
the natural hands that Simon could have here that Sam beats? Is it if Simon maybe just stabs with like queen jack 1 diamond, hands like that queen 10 1 diamond?
Not sure about this peel from Jerry. It has to be okay. You're getting it's 170 to win, 470, so it can never be too bad. But these are tricky hands with the stack depth. Blinds went up, 100k.
Yeah, we are at 51, so he's pinning off 28.
Lovely clean blinds.
Yeah, makes life a little easier. As we
Yeah,
see,
it's
995
nice,
to clubs. Jerry and Simon check it to Sam. It's queen jack with a queen of clubs.
Yeah. Simon's got a bluffing candidate,
Right.
which is interesting. I don't like calling here because I don't think you've ever really got the best hand against Jerry, really. You're only bluff catching, and Jerry's called out of the small blind, so his bluffs are going to be 10-jack suited, Queen Jack's suited. He's not peeling Queen Jack off, so he's barely got any bluffs, really.
Well, he is going to call.
Oh, I think he might go for it on the river.
Yeah, it's be interesting. Of course, they're not that deep. Like Jerry with 2.1 behind, 1.6 in the pot. Sam having a little tank up now.
I don't think you're calling with the intention of showing this down, you know? When people flat out of the small blind, their range is pretty defined. Oh.
9 on the end. Simon makes a boat. This a sickener.
Unfortunate card.
Deadman strikes again.
Oh. I like it.
Jerry does eventually find the check. Simon.
When they say that callous, you're right.
And Simon
Man,
going
this
675.
This isn't what I wanted to see, you know. I wanted to see the total brick on the river, then bet shove.
Reading before, like to warm myself up.
I mean, Jerry has the ace of clubs in his hand. If he had, say, you know, Queen Jack of clubs, then maybe he could think there's potential for Simon to have.
I think he doesn't think Simon has much just raw 8 on its own. He's 8-7, 8-6 with a club, ace 8, and he blocks the... it's just like he thinks, this is the best hand I can have. Like, Simon could still have... excuse me. Simon could still have some 10 jacks. When the button opens and the small blind 3 bets, they've got a lot less hands than these two would.
Right.
So when you end up shoving with 7s, you end up getting called a lot more.
10-10-3 flop. Yuri opened black aces.
I think he's going to check back.
Pads.
I don't know if it's theoretically correct, but I like a check back when you have ace of clubs.
He's going to bet 150, and surely Pad's going to come along for one more card with King Queen.
Yeah. It's the sizing, isn't it, that makes it...
Flicks it in. 4 on the turn. No pair hands.
block the big flush draw.
Like Kings is a lot better to bet here again, right? Than aces.
I would find a
Big
check
difference.
on one of the streets. That would be my thing.
He does check. Jack on the end.
No, I don't think so.
Wow. This is surely
He's
getting...
overbet put 150%. This is a snap call, right?
Yeah.
He blocks the ace of clubs. I get that, but like,
Yeah.
this is Patrick Leonard.
Right, but the ace of clubs, Patrick might not even bet, right? He might just try and get ace-high to showdown.
No. There are certain guys, both of these guys tick the box where if they do this and I'm like under-repped, top of my range sort of hand, I just click the call button instantly and just, you know, hope for the best. Yuri is definitely in the same boat of being capable,
Flicks it in.
but these guys are smart enough to think about it. You know, I'm just like, I has the aces against a guy
it.
like this.
I reckon Sam's going to needle him over something here.
Table game
GTO,
styles,
Gaston,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, where you have it on their sides.
Sam in the big with the 10-8 offsuit. He is going to flick in the call. 110,000 more.
Threes, get your threes out for Gaston.
That was his standout hand.
Yeah.
Queen 6-5 here. Manig flopping top pair. Checking it back with a backdoor diamond and backdoor straight draws.
Okay.
And he has a backdoor 2-pair draw. Well, front door 2-pair draw, I should say, as he
Sam.
pings it on the turn.
Sam's hit his gin card.
All right, double gutter, and this is got to be a bluff card, right?
Yeah.
Bluff candidate, this hand.
I mean, it's kind of his only bluff candidate other than the 7.
300k into 570. Manig's just going to keep selling the story, I guess, of being a little bit weak. Flat this one. Does make the call.
I don't think people are raising enough in these spots anymore. It's like no one ever raises this spot anymore. I know we blocked top 2, but it's not like they can't continue. And if we end up calling every time, we want to have the strongest hands in our raising range sometimes.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
That was quick.
Sam moves all in.
Oh boy.
And, I mean, he has some
The
7-8.
twos are about to overtake the ones in the chat.
Wow.
Manic said he had basically got queens.
This is a sickener.
By the way, nice chairs. Like Aeron level
Yeah,
chairs.
so they are.
They are Aerons?
Yeah.
Damn, I thought they looked like Aerons. It's an expensive setup.
Manic, do you know how much I had before you moved all in? This is horrible. Manic had his hand completely on lockdown, had it all figured out, had his opponent bluffing away.
I mean,
And now faces a rip.
$10-6 of clubs. I don't even know. He did it so quick. So, I mean, when you think about it like that, this is kind of like the best hand Manic can have. 9s.
Right.
He
Lets
does
it
fold.
go.
Nice one.
Was a long tank, and that has eaten into a lot of the break. And good news for you guys, it means we only have about 10 minutes until play resumes here at the Million South America main event feature table. Sammy Squid, now your table chip leader as we go to 60k, 120k.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
You like it.
Yeah.
We all like it. And also, just cool because you can bluff them later on anyway. Just
Yeah.
rip it in for 3 times pot. What are they
yeah.
going to do?
The board's probably going to come, you know, 10, 7, 6. Now you've got
just-
the blockers.
You're just dead, aren't they? How about King, Queen, 9? Set of 9s for Squid. Simon with second pair backdoor diamonds.
What's Alex's name?
Wittenstool.
Wittenstall. There you go. It's a very good flop for our friend Sam Squid.
Bets 5 into 8.
So Sam thinks he's uncapped. He could still have ace king and aces in the spot. So when he thinks he can bet 500k like easily, profitably, Simon's just gonna toss it. I think
So strong. It's just like,
it looks so strong, the sizing.
right, but does it feel like just grim if you're check folding ace queen here?
Yeah, and it's incorrect to check fold ace queen, but this is live poker. But Simon's thinking the same thing we are, clearly. This is why he's taking so long.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
What a player. Love that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Sam
This
knows
is-
it.
Sam knows he bet too much, I think.
I feel like you folded something that you
Supposed to continue.
this is about spots on.
I don't even have one.
I'm here. I am here to mock the players and chat, but certainly not a billionaire. That's the other Tom Hall I think you're thinking of.
Ah, yeah. Rich Tom Hall.
Yeah.
Some people call, wow, look at this flop. 779.
Yeah, let's go, Jerry.
Jerry's getting something going.
Devon's just gonna have to. Excuse me. Devon's just gonna have to bet call this, I think. Well, will Jerry check jam against the bet? Probably not. But what I'm saying is he's forced to go with jacks here, I think. Then late regging satellites. Not much. Especially when you can register with like 6 big blinds.
All in and a call.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's how I thought this hand would go. I wasn't 100% sure if he would check jam or check raise or check call, but when you check jam, you never miss any value.
Right.
They have to call with their overpairs and usually almost all their 9s. By the way, shout out to Bryn Kenny, legend of the game. He's not in the chat. Just shout out. To be honest, I'm not sure.
I think I hear someone in the background shouting, Sam's moved all in. All right, let's listen in.
Oh, they can hear us in the chat in the
Oh.
booth.
I thought he was trolling.
He can hear. Oh, this is
Oh,
classic.
of course, we're just behind the cap. We were quite loud in that hand.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's listen in. Let's see what they say.
That's you. I was lucky to go as deep as I did. And, you know, you take those runs and take the experience and the hardships of it, and Nice fold. That is disciplined fold. Do you think the dynamic played into his fold a bit there?
Well,
Like
what if
he
he's-
thinks that Manik wouldn't go really light against Sam with the dynamics.
well, obviously he sort of was 3-betting just as he heard me shout wow at the all-in.
Right. Cremate looks right now like he's not sure.
Alex checking with 5-6 suited from the big. And we see 6-3 deuce. Both players flop top pair. Alex with a gut shot to go with it. Sam with backdoor flush draw.
Wonder how this plays out.
Sam's coming out betting.
Did Zhang go to this party stop? Don't think so.
Not seen him.
Chip leader Demo from Canada.
Wow.
Demosthenes Kiliopoulos, who's final tabled a millions previously in Canada.
Well,
It's gone
Alex
back
has
raised.
raised the flop.
I'm not sure if this is standard, but I do like it. I'm not sure what the, like, is it a mix? Probably like more calling than raising, but you are supposed to do some raising, I think.
What's Sam going to do here?
But
Does
you're
he
always going to have a gut
Let's just
shot
rip
with
this
it.
in. He does rip it in. Is a call. And a pair and gut shot versus pair. Alex needs a 4 or 5 outs cards. Two of his outs. It's a club no good.
GG.
That's the end of Alex. Well, he was on a brutally tough table. What would you sell them all for today? What's the cent of the dollar?
How much
fee?
cash would I take for all of them?
Yeah.
It was 7 to 1.
Then it was 4 to 1, Sam, and then it was 3
And
to
then
1,
it
and
was-
you still
had
lost.
none. Then you had nothing. I don't know if it's that good. Like, I'm not as good as Yuri, so I'm not going to play it quite as well post, and I feel like I get abused a bit from 3-betting behind when I flatten these spots.
Oh.
And it's a really tough lineup.
Interesting flop, because Manig flats from the big and flops a gut shot on 10-4 deuce. Thiago has an overpair, and Yuri has top pair. So a little something for everyone on this one.
Yes. $18 million.
Thiago is going to bet the flop.
Matas
Yuri
Simbalas,
calls.
16.8 million. Patrick Mahoney, 12 million. Nice guy, Patrick Mahoney. We all want to be Gaston.
Tell you what, guys, I'll put it to you. I'm going to campaign to get Gaston's table on first tomorrow. How's that?
If you want to be my lover, you got a Gaston, my friends.
Ah, something in there. Look at
There's
this.
something
Manning's
there.
going 3-way with his gutter. Send me a 3, he says. Well, he's going to get the king of spades, and this will almost certainly check through. Then he will get a chance to hit a flush. Speaking of Yuri, action is on him.
Checky, checky.
I mean, I'm not a watchman, but that looks like a nice watch.
Don't like the strap very much. It looks very nice, but I'm not a fan of the that color. I'm sure it costs more money than I'm worth total.
Chaddy, well, he's just
Ooh,
pinged 2 pair on the
pinged it.
end here.
With
Chaddy is written, so not only is Yuri an emboss, but he's also a dreamboat.
Yeah.
Life's been kind to him. It most certainly has. Manig
Thinking about bluffing.
went 3-way, yeah.
He's thinking, well, this is one of my few bluffs, and I've got a spade. I should probably bet about 2 million.
He's gone
Ooh,
tiny.
he's gone tiny.
5-10.
I'm not a fan. We're talking about the nerd guy here, and the nerd guy.
Well, look at this. It gets Thiago to fold jacks.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's
But
so. I mean,
it's much easier for Thiago to fold than
yeah.
Yuri. I can't see Yuri folding Jack 10 and up suited. You know, a 10 with a Jack kicker, Jack 10 suited is probably his worst. 10-9 suited, actually, he would call pre.
You're holding 8, and there's only one combo of 8-4 suited, right?
I'm surprised he's
8-4
taken this
of
long.
diamonds, which is the one that would call, I suppose.
This is like a snap.
Wow!
Leveled. I'm a moron.
Wow,
Manig's a genius.
Manig, what a boss. Got his own back.
Manig's just shot up the rankings.
Whips out this tiny bet.
Wow.
He does
Wow.
rip. Manig will, I'm pretty sure, be calling him a king-queen, right? This is the shrugging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 10 people from the money. I don't like this on either side.
Oh, Queen Jack 10. Manig flops top pair. Tiago needs one of those kings to make Broadway.
I see him weird.
Jack on the end. That is the end of Tiago.
I'd like some opinions on the chat on that one, because personally, I don't like either side.
Manig over 10 million in chips now. What a comeback he's made.
Yeah.
And also, I tell you what this does mean. We have 2 empty seats on the table.
Someone has to come now.
Surely we're getting a player in a minute.
Yeah, they're not going to leave them both empty.
He's jamming.
Well, if it's 250, he's thinking about some non-all-in. But if there's any money pressure at all, you can't induce jacks.
Right.
Michael Sklenica. Pronunciation Sklenica. But I like that guy. I like that guy a lot.
I'm
He's
going with
cool.
Skalenka.
Oi, oi!
Oh!
Oi, oi! He's on the GNT as well. Everyone's on it.
Coley in the mix.
Also been number 1 in the world, by the way. Also been number 1 in the world at Pocket Ride. Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
I was already
Like, yo, bros. It's like, I can do what the fuck
Yo,
I want.
bros. I like Brian.
I was already studying.
Ah, he's got the inside scoop on the boys.
In the big King Queen, in the
He knows how they've been playing.
Even though I know I call I win. For sure, if I call I win.
Your kids play the brush. Did your kids have to fold to you when you? How much is it? Is that one of the rules? Your kids they have to fold to you when you? I think it's 7 You're all his kids. Come on.
Yeah, you.
He's the uncle.
Simon's giving the real needles here.
He's the uncle.
Yeah.
Flicks in the cool. King 5-4. Jerry
I think it's
flops
right.
top pair.
Right on the edge, this one.
Pads has that in bad shape.
If I was Brian, I'd go for a C bet here. Just like to block ace king, king jack, although they're never going to have ace king. Just makes sense. Although you do still have the best hand quite a bit with ace jack, and you're going to be pushing off worse hands. Just like to protect it a bit.
1.2 in the pot. Pad's going for what's about 350, 365 the number.
Chat's worried about Jerry, but I don't think he's going to bust in this hand. He'll call flop, and then he's just going to be in a horrible turn spot and end up folding, I think. Anyway, theoretically, you're not supposed to fold the turn, but look how lax he is, though. 10 out of 10 points for relaxed.
Just flicks it.
For relaxed demeanor. Nah, he's not. He would never shove this, ever.
Seven on the turn. Doesn't change anything.
4-6 of clubs and 4-6 of spades, maybe, but probably not. You still got Brian behind you.
Right.
Actively. Well, in chat we got, he might have to find a call because of the pressure he can make. Well, all the hands that put him in pressure are going to have some decent equity. I don't think Pats is ever going to take a hand like ace-10 of clubs and just bet the flop and shove the turn. He's always going to have a 6-7, 5-6,
Right,
ace-6 suited, maybe.
I guess like ace-3, one of those backdoor flush draws is a contender.
Yeah,
with a turn double
that
gutter.
makes perfect sense. Ace-3 of clubs, ace-3 of diamonds.
Yeah,
Would make sense. Ooh.
Said all in and a call. Jerry needs to find a 9. It is a 6.
See, he's
I like Jerry.
lax. Yeah, me too. He's
That's cool.
it's all good for him. He don't mind.
I had 10% of each of them.
Jesus Christ.
The most hair gel.
I was chilling on the rail, drinking beers, loving life.
I just basically this table. I still.
You hear that about the hair gel? I think he was talking about Craig, right? The most hair gel any man has ever worn.
Just tell me that again. And it comes after it. We know what you're doing, Manny. This isn't the first rodeo for us guys. Yeah?
That was brutal for me.
Yeah.
I was looking. It was 1.7 million.
You were dreaming about actually getting rich without moving out of your chair.
It was 1.7 for first and 1.1 for second, I think. And I thought, I mean, these guys are second and third, and it was kind of a soft lineup at that point. And I was like, this is the dream. And they're on different tables.
Oh,
so they couldn't knock each other out as Simon rips it in.
Oh, no.
Manig snaps, of course, with ace king. King, queen, 4. Well, that basically is the end. Good game, Simon.
Who doesn't like Simon Dedman? Class act.
I don't want to meet the person who doesn't.
Dead man. What a great last name.
He is the dead man right now.
That's so great. I can't even explain. It's so good.
Well, Pads thought long and hard and then kicked them into the muck. Manig with 3s in the big. He's going to flick in the call.
These commentators fit so well. One with a lot of hair, the other with none. Balanced. Balanced commentary in every sense.
Well, polarized, not balanced.
Marcel is quite scary looking.
Wow, what a flop this is. Marcel flops pair and nut flush draw. Yuri with
snap
top pair,
bets.
backdoor nut flush draw.
I'm not sure what Yuri's going to think of this snap
Yuri,
bet.
I mean, if
He's
you
just
watched
gonna go all in, I think.
if you watched him play earlier and you're Yuri, you'd be pretty scared because Marcel was very afraid to put chips in the pot. Raise folded ace king to a 20 big blind jam, etc.
Drenched. All in.
There is the rip.
I'm all in.
And this would be Manig out the way and
All
Marcel cooling.
Well, if he's that tight, maybe.
No, he's pairing a flush draw. I think he's going to have a little look.
Yeah, I think he'll have a go, won't he? That's the worst hand he could see, actually, ace jack.
Yeah, I didn't want to see
with the
a
diamonds
jack.
as well.
Well, an ace jack, I should say.
It's literally the worst hand the worst combination of cards he could possibly have.
I mean, I guess apart from a set, but split hairs here.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Just I don't want to call you out for being wrong, Tom, but you're wrong. Heart on the end.
Vamos! 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 Uruguay.
Marcel tells them all to shut up and then knocks one of them out.
Nice to see some energy. Bit P hug.
The Bit B bros all together.
Sus.
Yuri to the rail.
Who folded Jack 10 suited?
Pads
What?
from the small.
Especially when you know they've got more hands than usual.
Brian flicks it in from the big with deuce 3 suited.
Don't quote me on that. Usually you check this, I think, but with the ICM pressure, I think he's just going to bet way higher frequency.
And Brian, he does have backdoor clubs, but like you say, he's just going to make a big fold, he says. Flashes it. And Manig pulls in the last pot of the night. He's going to end with just under 15 million chips. I do gather we're going to have a little look around the room, though, to see who else might still be in the field.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Here we go, then. Roberto's still in the mix.
Staying alive.
Alexander, that's quite a big stack there. Those pinks, 500 case.
Yeah, we appreciate your help, Troll Bosser. You've been great.
Renato. Ah, Diane still in. Looks like she's doing
Nice. Diane. It never made sense.
Ah, yes! Yes! Here it is! You've waited for hours.
Oh, it's this guy.
You've got Gaston.
I know this guy.
Gaston has chunks.
I've seen this guy before.
You've waited all that time for Gaston. You finally get to see him. Hopefully we'll see more of him tomorrow. That is how your feature table finishes on day 2. Tomorrow we come back at 81.60, and that's how many blinds these guys will have. Manik and Michael easily the most, over 90 bigs. Sam and Patrick and Marcel all around the 50 big blind mark, very comfortable. In fact, none of these guys are looking likely to bubble. There you go, Tom. I've gone and thrown out the jinx.